I'm Jim Cramer, and welcome to my world.
You need to get in the game.
Firms are going to go out of business, and he's nuts. They're nuts. They know nothing.
I always like to say there's a bull market somewhere. And I promise
Mad money. You can't afford to.
Hey, I'm Kramer. Welcome to Mad Money. Welcome to Cray-America. Other people want to make friends. I'm just trying to make you some money. Yesterday, the Dow rose 1.3%. You all know that I'm just in the business of making you money, and I don't do politics on this show. But tonight, I have a few political things to cover. Let's start with Trump versus Obama and the booming economy. It's no secret that I've scrutinized the way Obama affected the economy in this country. I don't think he focused enough on creating jobs and helping businesses flourish. He was too worried about creating an expensive healthcare program to even mention the stock market. While Trump, on the other hand, is one of the first presidents to continuously mention the stock market and make it one of his first priorities. And this is where his new tax plan comes into play. This plan is great for businesses and investors. It makes the fundamentals of the market the best they've ever been and gives businesses more money to invest, to give back to their employees, or to spend. But even though this tax change is amazing for the stock market, it's not so good for the American worker. But as you know, I'm more interested in how these political issues are going to affect the amount of money you make. So today I brought in Paul Krugman and Stephen Moore to discuss issues of Trump and the economy, as well as continue arguments they made in their book, Moore vs. Krugman. Let's get down to it. Our first question in the endless rounds of debate of Moore vs. Krugman is about the unemployment rate. The unemployment rate has dropped from 4.8 to 4.1% since Obama left office. This is the lowest the unemployment rate has been in 45 years, and the economy is doing extremely well. Do you credit President Trump's policies, or do you think it's a continuation of Obama's policies? Stephen, you're up first.
Thank you so much for having me on this show. In terms of our country's booming economy, liberals will say it is a continuation of Obama's policies, which is why the unemployment rate has dropped and the economy is soaring, but that is false. Don't get me wrong, after the Great Recession of 2008, Obama did a great job of building the economy, but in 1 year, over 500,000 jobs have been added to the Rust Belt and areas of manufacturing. Perhaps my favorite moment over there is when my friend, Mr. Krugman, told America how the stock market would never recover, but the next day, the stock market soared 700 points over the next 8 hours and now has shot up 3,000 points since that one day. So I guess Mr. Krugman just admitted to the world he's very wrong.
Before I begin, I'd like to say thank you to Jim for having us on this show. And also, before I say anything else, I would like to admit that my initial prediction of Trump's economy was wrong. The economy is doing much better than I expected, but I don't think Trump should take any credit for that. The low unemployment rate that we're currently experiencing has nothing to do with Trump's policy.
In Obama's last year of office, the economy was decelerating with the GDP growth rate at a lowly 1.6%. But now, the growth rate is up to almost 3%, something economists said 1 year ago wasn't possible. And now, after decades of outsourcing jobs in China, companies are creating jobs here, something that we have hoped for years, but Trump is finally helping to create. This will most definitely increase the population of the working, which has remained stable over the past 20 years, and should help increase workers' wages.
Well, Stephen, as you can expect, I have to disagree that Trump is not helping to create any of these jobs. For starters, the working age population is barely growing, so there is a decrease in the overall labor force participation rate, which is lending to the low unemployment rate. Additionally, the rate at which people are quitting their job is 2.2%, which was last this high during the 2007 recession. And there's this principle, it's called Okun's Law, and it states that there's an inverse relationship between the growth rate and unemployment, which is due to growth fluctuations of the big business cycle, not due to anything that Trump has done.
It's no secret that Trump's tax plan is highly controversial. Everyone seems to have their own opinion on this tax reform that's supposed to help small businesses flourish. I really hope my grandma's flower shop can do well due to the tax reform. But Mr. Moore, what's your take on this plan?
Well, people always ask me if the tax plan is just a cut for the rich. But I always say yes, because the tax plan is a cut for the rich, the middle class, small business, low-income families. If you pay federal taxes, you'll be taking home more pay. Cato scholar Chris Chris Edwards examined low middle-class families who make between $40,000 and $50,000 a year. He found that these families will see a 46% reduction in taxes paid, and people who make more than $1 million will see a 7% reduction. Those liberals always forget that by getting these reductions in taxes, people will have more money, which leads to a higher stock market. Krugman believes in killing this tax reform, but that will kill the economy, so goodbye to that plan.
I fully believe that the new tax plan is just about the biggest tax scam in the history of this country. The bill hurts almost all of Americans except for the wealthy few that you mentioned in the study, the 1 million that will see a 7% reduction. Not the entire nation makes more than $1 million. Just because the bill includes a number of temporary tax breaks that would at first offset the increase that the middle class families are going to be facing doesn't mean that it won't dramatically hurt them in the long run. And I'm directly responding to the study that you quoted about the middle class tax cut. And just so you know, these liberals that you mentioned are just trying to use logic to come to the conclusion that this is the most stupid tax plan and would only be thought of as a good idea by people who are very wealthy and don't care about the rest of the country.
Well, thank you guys for being here today to discuss how Trump is affecting our economy. If you want to hear more from either of them, you can check out some of their numerous books.